So today I want to show you our suspension bridge we built this summer. This thing is 55 feet from eyebolt to eyebolt. From the decking to the water, I measured a little bit ago, it's 9.5 feet. I kind of copied off another guy who built one. I'll show you what I did and what I definitely would have changed. So what we did first, we ran a string. Matter of fact, we started without the string, and that was a mess because some of these holes are twice as big because I didn't line them up right. So I got the string, we ran it, and what we have is 4 feet from the center to center on these 6x6s. So we added half of a 6x6, that's 5.5 inches wide. Anyhow, we marked the outside edge of the 6x6s and then went ahead and measured the best we could so the distance from here to the other 6x6 was the same. And then each of these holes, of course, now some of you I know concrete with a treated post, I get it, but that's all I had. Looking back, I probably would have used 6-inch casing maybe, but then again, I don't know how long that would have lasted either. So it's in the ground, it's in cement. Each hole is 3 feet deep, and of course we dug 8 of them in the middle of summer during a drought, and it's just hard clay. We didn't run into many rocks at all, but it was inch by inch with the spud bar. We'd come out here every evening, dig sometimes only half of a hole because of how hard the ground was, and I wanted to make it wide so we can get enough concrete in there. Do you remember how much concrete we used total? Was it around 2,000 pounds? Yeah, we ended up using around 2,000 pounds of sakrete in these 8 holes. Now, of course, these ones here with these back cables, now my dad made these. They're 36 inches long. He used 5/8 sucker rods, I believe, and then he welded these onto the end. I have no idea what these are from, but those are sunk in the concrete, and that's what we ended up doing there. So the first thing I would have done differently coming down here, of course, we put the rope on. This thing, believe it or not, this rope, when it gets wet, you would think it would sag, but this thing will tighten up like a banjo. I mean, to where it's pulling in on the edges here of the 6x6. 1/2-inch turnbuckles, hook here to go in my 1/2-inch eye. This end's closed. 3/8 cable. I got a 150-foot roll of 3/8 cable galvanized on Amazon. These are, and then of course the cable clamps to go with it. Each end has 3 clamps. Those are the M10s. Make sure you put those on right. You dead, never saddle a dead horse. So we have those, and then of course the first thing I would have changed, which is the biggest thing, is if you look right here, these eye bolts are perfectly level. And then, but what I should have done, you see how close that one is to the concrete? Now look how far it is over here. And you wouldn't think that would matter, but believe it or not, that there's so much weight here that it does pull on that post. Of course, we have these here, but what it does is almost go like this, like an S. It pulls it, this section right here. I forgot my 6-foot level, but I promise you that's bowing in right there because of how far that is from there. So what I should have done was dug this out and made this level before I went ahead and put these posts in. So with this here, we have 1/2-inch turnbuckles on 1/2-inch, of course, our eyes. This wasn't on the ground, but of course with the frost, I think that's what's going on here. I need to dig that, so that's not laying in the ground. But stainless steel, everything's stainless steel from China, so we'll see how good it really does work. Okay, so after we got our cables on there, and like I said, it's 4 feet from eyebolt to eyebolt, 4 feet wide. And then what we did was Krista marked, we got 2x4x10s, cut them in half, and then Krista marked each one with the distance that we needed. I think it ended up being 6 inches, obviously. And then underneath, we used the same thing the other guy did. Those are just some copper pipe clamps. People have said about using 2 different types of metal against each other, it'll cause corrosion, but I promise if you build one of these bridges, the last thing you're gonna be worried about is putting copper on steel. It was a ton of work. Every bit of it was a lot of work, especially digging these holes. So we laid those out, spaced them out, And then what happened was, this is one of the other bigger problems that I ran into, and it's still a big issue, is that, so these eye bolts came with washers, and they were a little smaller than this one here, and they were sucking right into the post. So I had to take all these off of here. You would think I'd be able to do it somehow without having to, but I had to rip them all off. It's a lot of weight, just the 2x4s themselves. And then we went to Tractor Supply, got some bigger washers, and used those here and of course down here. And then on the other side, I'll show you the other side where it's even sucking these ones in. So what I should have done was just had a plate that went the whole way across. And I could still do that somehow if I can relieve the tension off of here. But so the back cables are 6 feet behind the 6x6s. And then of course they're level as well. So I made sure that the eye bolts, or the eyes down here in the ground, were perfectly level, and that the distance from the bottom from that nut back was exactly 6 feet. That way, if you're down here and you line up everything, it should be just right, like that. I didn't want one cable higher than the other or lower, so on and so forth. So everything's perfectly level there. And then for our decking, this is rough cut that cousin Kurt gave us. This here, you can see there's two different colors. The darker is oak, and this stuff out here, that's all we had. We didn't have enough to finish it. And then we went and used rough cut pine for the outside, so they won't last as long unless we put something on here. But these, like I said, you have to mess around with them because they will tighten. We have rain coming tonight, and I'll probably loosen them up just so they're not so tight. I don't know how this rope hasn't snapped. I don't remember what the diameter of this was, maybe 3/4 inch or inch. I think it, what was it? But anyhow, so then coming back here, here's the other, like I said, that washer was sucking in. You can see it right here. See how much that's getting sucked in? And it's checked. You can see it right here, and you can see it even more in the middle of the summer when it's dry. It really opens up. These caps here, got these on Amazon, so we'll screw those down. And then once again, same deal here. We have our back cables, same with this one here. It's down in the mud a little bit. I still have to do some leveling so it doesn't fill up with water and snow like it is right now. We'll open that up. 3 feet deep, all of these. Once again, it took forever. And yeah, we have 3 clamps here as well. Everything seems to be holding really well. We've had, I think, 6 adults on here at one time. The nice thing about this is you can just simply tighten it up, throw a level on here, tighten it up, and it'll pull it back to where it's level. So, or straight up and down. So these posts here, if you look, yeah, they're straight, parallel, which is what I wanted. I want everything to look just as good as it can. So yeah, there's the bridge. A ton of work, but Chris and I both wanted it because of this big ravine here, and cameras just don't show how steep it really is. But to get over to this food plot, you have to go way down here below that shed and then back up around, versus now we can just walk right down from the house, cut across this bridge, because it continues on up. It's steep, and then it splits right here. So 55 feet from one end to the other, probably around $800, maybe a little less than that. I'd say 800 just to be on the safe side. We ended up with a ton of concrete because our holes were off. So the only thing I could do was add more. It's plenty wide enough. I would have gone narrower, but there are, like, if there's kids and whatnot and other people who are scared of heights, they do feel a whole lot better with it 4 feet wide. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll see you.